Good morning. Hello and welcome to these 60 Yogic Minutes with Kristin. This is a very exciting day. It's our first live. So here we are live on Vimeo and on YouTube and eventually possibly live on social media. But as you may know, right now we are social media dark as much as we possibly can be for Sober October. So with that said, welcome to 60 Yogic Minutes. I can't see anything other than the back of my phone, so this is kind of weird and strange, but we'll see how it all goes. I'll pretend as if you're in the room with me. So it is a beautiful Thursday morning here in South Jersey. We're having a lovely fall right now, so I'm very grateful for that. So 60 Yogic Minutes is a 60-minute practice. Might go a little bit over today just for a little bit of explanation. But so we start with a theme. And our theme today, we're going to start working through the yamas and the niyamas. So you may or may not know, there are actually 8 limbs of yoga. Asana being just one small portion of them, of the 8 limbs. The yamas and the niyamas are the first 2, and they are the practices that have to do with daily life. They are moral and ethical practices, and just general things to look out for on and off the mat. So 60 Yogic Minutes is all about the practice of what we can do here in this space, but also what we can do once we're out in the world. Our world is challenging, it's frustrating right now. It's usually frustrating, but right now it feels a little more elevated due to, the pandemic and the social climate and the political climate and everything that goes along with those things. So you never know when you're going to walk into a conversation or when you're going to have to feel like you need to leave a conversation. So with our first practice today, we're going to start to practice what's called Ahimsa, 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 which means non-violence, non-harming, okay? So when we practice Ahimsa on the mat, we are listening and watching for our thoughts to maybe possibly go negative into that place where I can't do, or my body doesn't do, or that isn't for me, that hurts too much, or opposite end of the spectrum, this hurts, it must mean it's working. I need to do more in order to, create progress through my practice. But a lot of times what happens is we're either, too into we call it, in the rajas over here, or we're too tamas, which means we're not doing enough, or we're kind of in that stagnancy. Rajas in the a lot, extreme, too much. We want to be in what I call the warm, gushy center. So I'd say that it's gushy because it's not finite. There's not a space right here where it's not an exact point. We want to keep ourselves moving and flowing in that little space where we're able to kind of move into the tamasic and move into the rajasic without going too far in either direction. So Ahimsa really is the jumping off point to allow that to begin to happen. We can move our body on our mat in a way that helps us to stay balanced, stay in the center, okay? So when we're balanced and we're in the middle of that little warm, gushy center, it allows for our practice to really open and expand and take us to places we never knew we were capable of, either by being tamasic or rajasic, okay? So when we're doing this practice today, our focus is going to be on non-violence and non-harming. It's going to be listening to our thoughts, watching our actions, and really standing in the place of witness while we're in our practice, witnessing our body, our emotions, our experience as a whole, instead of being involved in. We're going to be watching and feeling on the outside more than stuck on the inside. Okay, so when we practice Ahimsa off the mat, we are going to take what we've learned here and see if then we can use it in our day-to-day life with ourselves. And it always helps to start with us. And then from when we work with ourselves and we say, you know, oh, I'm so stupid, I shouldn't have done that. Or, you know, pushing yourself beyond, working until, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning just to get something done and not allowing yourself the space to rest, or being unkind to people. You know, how many times have you driven down the street and, you know, nobody knows how to drive but you, and you're constantly yelling at people? I know I do it. You know, I'm from South Jersey. It's how we roll. But we want to create the space for us to watch those things happen and to step back and to say, oh, wow. And then just notice what's happening and then move on, so that we're not putting too much charge behind that and not getting really unnecessarily angry. It's okay to be angry, but not necessarily unnecessarily. So we're just going to focus on Ahimsa and the practice of nonviolence, and notice how we can do it on the mat, and then maybe we can see also the translation of off the mat once we're done. All right, so that's where our theme is going to enter in today. Next up is the breath practice that we're going to do, and we're going to incorporate breath more than just, oh, make sure you follow your breath while you're in your movement, but we're going to incorporate a specific pranayama practice. So prana meaning life force energy, yama, we heard the word yama before, yama meaning restraint. So we're restraining, or we're controlling the breath in the way to manipulate and maneuver the breath in order to benefit our entire body systems. So our breath practice today is literally going to be a simple 4 count, 8 count breath. So we inhale for 4 counts, we exhale for 8 counts. We're not going to hold in between. We're not going to do anything other than extend our exhale. So when we extend our exhale, it allows for a buildup of carbon dioxide, which actually sends more oxygen into the body and creates space for us to expand our lung capacity. It helps to control our sympathetic nervous system, and it helps to lower blood pressure and heart rate. It can. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not giving you medical advice here. This is just from my own experience and from what I have studied. All right, so we'll do the 4-8 breath. We'll move into an asana practice, and then we'll do our shavasana. And then from there, we'll go about our day, okay? So our meditation is actually going to be in practicing Ahimsa. We're going to be moving our body in whatever way we decide to move today. And our meditation will be the witness of that. Our pinpoint is going to be Ahimsa, because meditation is simply coming back to one point of focus. So our point today will be Ahimsa, and every time you see yourself coming out of Ahimsa, which will happen quite often, we're going to just bring ourselves back in, and that will be how we meditate today. Okay, because meditation, in case you didn't know, doesn't always have to be sitting, you know, upright with that nice tall spine. Although it is lovely, it doesn't have to go that way. You can live a meditation just as easily. All right, so that being said, we're going to bring our hands onto our knees. We'll bring our palms to face down to the earth. Ground your body into the earth below you. Feel the surface underneath of your body. If you are practicing at home or wherever you are, maybe grab a couple blankets and stick them underneath of your butt just to raise your hips up. That helps to lower your knees and give you enough space in your hips to be able to sit as we start our centering practice. So as you continue to kind of settle in, sort of let your meat press into the earth below you, feel your bones in your body. Maybe it'll feel comfortable to close your eyes, and if that doesn't feel comfortable wherever you are, that's okay. Just find a place to stare at on the earth below you. Again, palms facing down, that helps to create a grounding practice. If you're feeling already super grounded and you want to place your palms up for a receptive practice, that's always an option as well. This is your practice. I just want to make sure that you understand that. It's not mine. This is the practice that I am guiding you through and leading you, but there are no rules that say you have to do every single thing that I say, okay? When you listen to your own body, don't listen to mine, all right? There will be certain spaces in which I guide you in and out through for safety purposes, but other than that, it's really more of your own experiences. And really, I want to encourage you to use your intuition to see where that happens and where it doesn't. So we'll place the hands on the knees, shoulders roll back and away from the ears, lift the heart up in the chest, and then allow it to settle back and down. We'll just start to maybe take a few exhales out through the mouth, releasing anything from the morning, any traveling energy it took to get you onto your mat today. Any frenetic energy left over from anything yesterday or last night. And just let yourself rest. Maybe imagining in your mind the snow globe that is all shaken up. The thoughts being the little tiny snowflakes. And then watching all of those thoughts settle down into the floor of your mind. Maybe beginning to seal your lips and allowing for the breath to come in through the nose. Fill the diaphragm, all the area below your ribs into your rib cage, just above your belly button. And then exhale out through your nose. Let the ribs squeeze in toward the center of your body. As we take our next few breaths here, we will begin our pranayama practice of that 4-8 breath. Notice any anticipation, expectation, and see if you can watch that from a place of non-harming and non-violence. Find kindness in your heart. Step into that role of witness and notice what is there. You don't have to change anything, just watch it. After the next breath, let all the air out of your body. Our next inhale will count to 4, and I will count for you for the first minute. We're going to do this for 3 minutes altogether. I will count for you for the first minute, and then after that, it's on your own count of breath. So exhale fully one more time. And then begin to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Counting on your own. 3, 4. Just one more minute. Thirty seconds more. After your last exhale, begin to return to breathing normally. Take a moment or two and just notice how your body feels. Notice your experience right now. Begin to breathe naturally. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Maybe an equal breath here for 6 or 8 counts. Again, notice the spaces in your mind that you begin to be hard on yourself. Pushing yourself in too many directions that are uncomfortable, or not giving yourself space enough to grow. As you inhale, begin to lift your arms and sweep them up above your head. Reach nice and tall. Bring your low belly up towards your heart, in and up. And then as you exhale, we'll take the right hand down, reach the left hand up to the sky, and then over. Try to keep your sit bones planted on the mat and breathe. Inhale for 4, maybe exhale for 4. Just try to keep it even and equal. Expanding your belly on the inhale, drawing it toward your back on the exhale. On the next breath, inhale, lift the left hand back up to the sky, reach both palms up, pinkies spin in, palms face each other. And then as you exhale, drop the left hand down, reach up and over with the right. Listen to your body. Notice if you try to go too far down, maybe there's space where the body's not ready yet. Maybe you're just waking up. You're uncomfortable, and maybe there's room to expand and time to do it if we give ourselves that time. As you take your next breath, inhale, lift the right hand back up, left hand follows, reach tall. Exhale, arms float down to the sides. And we're going to switch legs here. So if your right leg's in the front, we're going to bring that behind and vice versa. I know my hips are starting to fall asleep from sitting there. My limit is usually about 20 minutes, and that's where we are. So, all right, as you take your next breath, we're going to take the right hand and plant it behind your right hip. You're going to keep this left hand on the knee, lift and open the heart, and then start to gaze over the right shoulder. Lift the crown of the head up to the sky. Use your belly. Expand out your breath with the inhale and in toward your back as you exhale. And then on the next breath, to deepen the twist, we're going to take this hand and sweep it across. Lift again with your heart and send your eyes maybe further over your right shoulder. Next breath, remove the left hand from the knee and then send your gaze back to center. Bring the left hand back to the right, or the right hand back to the right knee. Inhale, lift your head and heart up, and then as you exhale, begin to fold your heart forward. Keep your hands on your knees. Don't press down. Notice the urges to do that. Practice Ahimsa. Just opening the hips and the hip flexors and the hip rotators. Maybe sinking deeper with every exhale. As you take your next breath, press slightly into your palms, lift your heart back up to center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out through the mouth. On the next breath, we're going to take the left hand behind the hip. Keep the right hand on the knee, and then send your gaze over and off to the left. Keep your belly brought into your back, and breathe again. Inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Expanding into the diaphragm. Low breath helps be longer and stronger. On the next breath, we're going to take this right hand and cross it over. Lift with your heart. Realign if you need to, and then send your gaze over the left shoulder. As you take your next breath, remove the right hand, place it back on the right knee. Send your gaze back to center. Bring your left hand back onto your knee. Place your palms on your knees or your thighs. Lift up and open with your heart. And then as you exhale, hinge and fold forward. Inhale, lift yourself back up into center. Shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. On the next breath, we're going to rise into a table posture. So coming onto all fours. Bring your palms down onto the mat. I'm going to take my blankets and slide them out of the way here. Bring them over to that corner. All right, so place your shoulders over your elbows, elbows over your wrists, hips over knees. So default is aligning with gravity. Align your bones with gravity. If you want to curl your toes, you can do that if that feels comfortable for you. Or you can just keep the tops of your feet touching the mat. We'll move through cat and cow here, and as you inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the eyes, look up. Exhale, round the spine, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your gaze, lift your heart. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Do this a few more times on your breath. You have freedom and agency, so move with that freedom. Allow yourself the room to open the back, open the heart. Love on yourself here. Notice when we're being unkind in our thoughts. And you don't necessarily have to judge it. We're just noticing it today. We're not needing to change it. We're just becoming the witness of that. Last round here, exhale. And then from here, coming back to neutral. So from here, we're going to curl our right toes under, just the right toes, and send your hips back towards your heels. We're going to stretch into the fascia. And the feet here, opening the heels, for the one heel at least for now. We'll get to the other heel, don't worry. And then as you inhale, lifting back up. Keeping that right toe curled under, reach back with the right foot, and now we're going to stretch a little deeper into this hamstring stretch, heel stretch, getting the body ready and open. So part of practicing Ahimsa is making sure that we're doing all the things that we need to do on our mat to get our body open and ready for our practice. So it's the stretch before the stretch. It's violent if we just start to jump right into some postures where our body might not be ready for them yet. We're going to listen and honor what our body needs each day. As you take your next breath, we're going to bring that right knee back. You can sway your hips, rock them from side to side, if that's okay. And then from here, we're going to take these left toes and curl them under. Press your hips back toward your heels. I know for me, this is not necessarily comfortable. And I'm practicing Ahimsa here by listening to that discomfort and discerning the difference between real pain and edge. Right now, for me, this is edge. Maybe for you, it's pain. If it's pain, lift your hips up a little bit. Back out. Or if you're not feeling anything at all, maybe sink back a little deeper. But listen to where you need to be in order to practice in that soft, gushy center. As you inhale, we're going to lift back up. Keep those toes curled and reach that left leg long behind you. Press. Again, the stretch before the stretch. As you take your next inhale, lift up with your hips, bring that knee back into center, maybe sway and rock from side to side. From here, we're going to sit back on our heels, walk our hands toward our body, give our palms and wrists a little bit of a break. All right, so with that, we're going to take the backs of our hands together and just kind of press into them here a little bit. Helps to release those wrists. And then release that out. Maybe draw some circles with your palms. I always feel like I'm on Wheel of Fortune here. I'm kind of like Vanna White, spinning the letters, showing off. All right, as you take your next breath, we're going to come back into table. Plant your palms back onto the mat. Stack your bones again with gravity as we start to curl both toes under. Press your hips back towards your heels. Pause here, and then as you inhale, use your inhale and momentum. Engage the muscles in your thighs and your calves and your knees. Lift your hips up and make your way to downward facing dog. Allow for your head to hang heavy. Shake it, yes, no, rock, side to side. Whatever works there for you to loosen up those shoulders. Okay, maybe pedal your heels. Maybe your hips sway back and forth. Allow yourself the space to move and to listen. Take your time. Don't worry about anticipating what's next or where you have to be or how much longer is class going to be. When are we ever going to get onto our feet? Just stay here. Feel present. All of that anticipation and expectation is us being violent with ourselves. If we're always worried about where's next, how are we ever experiencing the moment that we're in right now? As you take your next breath, allow for both feet to walk slowly up to the top of the mat. Line those toes up with each other. And then inhale. Press your palms to your shins or thighs. Bend the knees slightly. And then start to walk the heels of your hands up your thighs. Come to a standing posture. Let your shoulders roll back and away from your ears. Let your heart be open and free. Stand here firmly in mountain pose. As you inhale here, we're going to lift the outside edges of the feet so that the knees squeeze in together. Press the big toe mounds in. Widen the toes just like you'd widen your fingers. And then drop your feet down to the mat. Press your pinkies, the edges of the pinky toes in equally. And then inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your waist, fold forward. Inhale, look up and out halfway. Exhale, fold down. We're going to plant the hands into the mat and step just the left foot back behind you. I'm going to walk my right foot up a little bit. I'm running out of mat space here. All right, as you take your next breath, keep this fingers pressed into the mat. Or if you have blocks or books or something close by to bring the earth to you, you can always use that. That is Ahimsa. Struggling down here, trying to move into a posture without the actual alignment or you're kinking the prana in your body is not practicing Ahimsa. Placing the palms onto blocks. See how much more room I have in my body here? You can use that. Send your gaze out and up in a nice runner's lunge. As you take your next breath, we're going to inhale and lift the hips high. Maybe it feels okay for you to lift up your right toes. Maybe you just stay here. We're listening to what's there, staying in that soft, gushy center. And then as you take your next breath, lean forward again slightly, and then step the right foot back, make your way back to downward facing dog. We'll take another breath here, feel the hips lift up to the sky. And then as you exhale, we'll start to walk the feet to meet the hands. Inhale, press your palms into your shins. Look up. Exhale, fold down. Lift your hips up energetically in space as your heart moves towards your knees. And then as you take your next breath, start to walk your hands. Use the heels of your hands to walk up your body. Roll the shoulders back, down and away. Again, inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. On the next breath, right foot is going to step back. Again, you can use these blocks to frame out your foot or place your hands onto the mat directly. Inhale, send your gaze out in front of you. Make sure your knee is stacked over your ankle. We don't want to be up here. This is not practicing Ahimsa. We don't want to be back here yet. Press into the heel. And then as you take your next breath, press into the earth or blocks. Lift your hips up. Press back onto that right heel. Maybe the toes lift, maybe they don't. As you take your next breath, bend the knee forward and then step the left foot back as we come back to downward facing dog. Let your head hang down. Maybe take an exhale through the mouth, settle in. And then on the next breath, we'll tiptoe or walk our way to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, we're going to lift our arms up to the sky, reach them nice and tall overhead. And then exhale, lower the arms down to your sides. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale again, sweep the fingers up into the air. Exhale, fold down forward. Inhale, we'll press our palms into either the mat or your shins. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold down. You can plant your hands into your blocks or directly onto the mat. Step your right foot back and the left foot follows. You can be here in a plank. You can drop your knees. I like to drop my knees. I'm going to actually move off of my blocks for this. You can stay on. As you take your next breath, lower your heart toward the earth. Inhale, lift your head and heart up. Exhale, curl your toes and lift your hips as you rise to downward facing dog. It feels good for me to lift my hips again, lift my heels again. Maybe that feels good for you too. On the next breath, we're going to inhale and step this right foot up to the right thumb. All right, plant the left foot down and then inhale. You can walk your hands up your leg or sweep your arms to the sky for warrior one. Pinkies are in. Shoulders are down and away from the ears. We're stacking our bones with gravity. Exhale, fold down forward. Plant your palms into the mat or use the blocks. Step the right foot back. Drop your knees if you need to. Knees, chest, and chin come to the mat. Inhale, lift your head and heart up. Exhale, curl your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Again, it feels nice for me here to pedal my heels one more time. Exhale through my mouth. And then I'll seal my lips again, and on the next breath, step the left foot up to the left thumb. Reorganize if you need to. Drop the right heel down. Inhale, either walk your hands up your leg or sweep your arms to the sky. Notice your thoughts. Just watch them. Exhale, hinge at the waist and fold. Plant your palms. Step the left foot back. Drop your knees if you feel like it, and then lower down. Inhale, head and heart up. Exhale, downward facing dog. On the next breath, we're going to take both feet up to the hands. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, slight bend to the knees, sweep the fingers all the way up into the air. Exhale, arms down to the sides. Shoulders up, back, and down. All right, on the next breath, we're going to come into our balance posture for today. And it wouldn't be fall without a lovely tree pose. So with tree pose, there's lots of different ways we can do it. A lot of times I watch people try to force themselves into postures that aren't necessarily available for them or ready, and then they get frustrated. And the frustration that we're feeling is, I should be here, I should be able to do more, I'm this, I'm that. Today's different than every other day that you've ever done this posture. So make sure you keep that in mind. And so I encourage you, you don't have to, I'm not with you, I can't see you, I have no idea what you're doing, but I encourage you to maybe just start with the right foot on top of the left, just like this. This is a balance. This takes balance, okay? We want to start to engage the muscles in this leg, start to lift your hips, lift your heart. Find a place to gaze to, maybe above your TV or computer screen or your phone, or over to the side or down to the earth, wherever you feel more of a connection. Wherever your eyes are drawn to immediately, pause there, as long as it's not a moving object. All right, so we're here, we're standing here and we're in balance, and maybe this is where we want to stay today. Or maybe we want to take this heel and we want to bring it up to our ankle as more of a kickstand. See how I'm kind of swaying? This is a balance. Still balancing. Maybe this is where we stay. Or maybe we bring this heel up to our calf. Press our heel into our calf and our calf into our heel, creating a little bit of a energetic force there. Maybe this is our spot. Or maybe our heel comes up into our thigh. Let's see. Maybe this doesn't happen for me today. Doesn't feel like it's going to stay. Let's see. What a miracle. We want to make sure that heel's above the knee, never on the knee. That's violence. If I were to have stayed there, I would have fallen. I would have been frustrated. But instead, I chose to do what my body was available for. And that feels better in the long run. As you're ready, you can start to release and let go. Shake out that left foot. Give it a nice little release there. Maybe draw some circles. And then we'll come back into center. All right, as you're ready here, we'll move on to the other side. Now, remember, left sides and right sides are different. We are not symmetrical beings. So keep that in mind, especially if your body is not symmetrical if you haven't eaten today, or if you have eaten more today. So if you're digesting, one side's going to be different than the other side. If you've slept differently, if one side's stretched out more, whatever the reason is, it doesn't necessarily matter. Reasons don't matter. What it is just noticing what is and what isn't. All right, so we'll go to the other side, brand new everything. It's like another child, right? You never know what you're going to get with the second kid. All right, so right foot presses into the mat. Left heel, see, I'm already ready to fall. Left heel comes on top of the foot. Maybe we hang out here. Maybe we go to that kickstand. Maybe we hang out here. Maybe we go to the heel to the calf. Still engaging the belly, lifting with the hips. Don't forget all of that engagement. Don't forget your gaze point, your drishti. Maybe the heel comes up to the thigh. Maybe this side's different for me. So different that it's not even going to go there. And we didn't bring our arms up necessarily on the last one, but maybe this time we bring our arms up. Reach up tall. And then as you're ready, as your body is ready, let yourself come down. And again, let's shake this out. Draw some circles. Bend the knee, let it swing and sway. And we'll come back to a neutral mountain pose in the center of the mat. Let your shoulders roll back and away from your ears. As you inhale, let your arms sweep up to the sky. Reach them tall. Exhale, fold down forward. Inhale, look up and out halfway. Exhale, fold down. We'll flow through one last time here. So plant your palms either into your blocks or directly into the earth. Step back into your plank. Lower down. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, on the next breath here, we're going to take the right leg and lift it up to the sky. Exhale, bend the right knee. Bring the right heel toward the left side of the mat. Drop the right knee down. And then reach the left leg back behind you. Here we are. Everybody's favorite. So I encourage you here, number one, if you need it, actually I'm going to take one of my blocks. I'm going to stick it right underneath of my hip on that side. I'm going to make sure my leg behind me is long and straight, coming from my hip, that my foot isn't sickled in one direction or the other. I'm going to lift my head up tall, and then as you exhale, you're going to hinge at the waist and fold down. Now, pigeon is a really great place to practice Ahimsa for a number of reasons. We hold a lot of stress, tension, and trauma in our hips. So all that negative self-talk is kind of resting in our hips. So we want to create the space where we can give ourselves a break. Let go of all of that, all that nastiness. You know, a lot of times I listen to myself talk and I say, gosh, who else would you speak to the way that you speak to yourself? Probably no one. So why do we do that? And the lesson is if we can be kind to ourselves, then we can be kind to just about anybody. So see if you can find kindness in your heart for yourself today. Compassion, love. As you take your next breath, we're going to press the palms into the mat. Inhale, lift your head and your heart up and wide. On your exhale, plant those hands firmly into the earth. Curl your toes under. And however you'd like to get out of this, you can press in and lift your hips. Come back to downward facing dog. If you want to lift that right leg up and draw some circles, you can do that. Whatever feels good to your body. I'm going to take this block and move it to the other side of my mat so I have it available for me on the other side. As I take the next breath, inhale, lift the left leg up. And then exhale, bring the left knee to the left wrist. The left heel comes to the right side of the mat, moving to the right hip crease. Again, nice long leg behind me here. Press the palms in. I'm going to use this block underneath of my sit bones there. And then as you inhale, lift up. And then as you exhale, hinge at the waist and fold down. Make sure you're honoring your breath here, that same 4 count in, 4 count out if it's available. Just equal, okay? It doesn't have to be the 4, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 8, maybe it's 2. But try to lengthen, try to deepen. So your breath is coming in from down here in your diaphragm, under your lungs. Notice any violence. As you take your next few breaths, we'll place the palms back into the mat. Lift your head up, curl your toes under, lean forward slightly, and then lift that left leg back up into the sky. Maybe bend the knee, rock and sway. As we make our way back to our final downward facing dog, take just one more moment here to lift your hips and stretch out those hamstrings. And then as you exhale, begin to lean forward, drop your knees onto the mat, coming back to table, and then we'll move over to one side of the mat or the other so that we can roll onto our back. I'm gonna scoop myself around my mat here, and once you get down onto the mat, time to rest. Oh, just another few minutes. Bring your knees into your chest. Let them rock back and forth. Maybe your feet flex. See here how we're practicing Ahimsa. We're gently cooling down our bodies. You know, we just did some movement. So let's allow ourselves the space to settle and soften. Line up your feet together, line up your knees, and then as you exhale, take the knees and move them over to the left side of your body. Bring your left hand out to the side. Your right arm can come long next to you, creating a T. Maybe send some exhales out through the mouth, relieving your effort. On the next inhale, bring your knees back into center. Use the belly to lift. Rock again from side to side. And then on the exhale, you're going to use those feet, squeeze everything together, and then drop your knees over to the right. Again, the left hand can come out to the side, the right hand can come out to the side, creating a T. Simply let go. As you take your next breath, inhale, Bring those knees back up. Use your belly. Tuck them back into your chest. And then as you exhale, we're going to send the legs long. Bring your heels to the edges of the mat. Bring your arms out to your sides. Palms can face up or down. Take a deep breath. Press your belly all the way up to the ceiling, to the sky above you. And then exhale and sigh it all out. Allow for your cells, your bones, your muscles, every little tiny part of you to release effort, to find yourself resting in that soft, gushy center. To allow yourself to release, to install everything that we just practiced. Begin to take deeper breaths. Every deep breath brings more life back to your body. Moving small joints, and then gradually increasing that movement to bring the knees up into the chest. Rock from side to side. And then rolling over to press yourself up, to come back to your seat. Just as we began. Maybe we're a little looser. Maybe we have a little bit more intention in our day, intention in our practice. Maybe we can find a little more compassion. When we practice yoga asana, when we practice on our mat, it's an incredible opportunity to be able to take what we've learned here and bring it out into our daily life. How today can you be reminded to practice Ahimsa? How today can you set yourself free from harm, from violence, from negative self-talk, and from the negative speak of others? How can you take that with you? Only you can answer. I want to thank you for joining me today. It's with all the love that I can see, all the love that you are. Thank you so much. Om Shanti. Thanks everybody. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you again next week. I'll be here every Thursday. So join in. Subscribe on YouTube. We're here. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.